everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Today, I thought we would celebrate something that none of us have ever been able to live without, and that's food. Sometimes healthy food, sometimes junk food, all kinds of food, and also sometimes some songs about drink, healthy drinks, non healthy drinks, whatever, whatever, whatever makes you happy. So I thought it would be fun to sprinkle in a few quotes about food as well. So I wanted to read you this first one by Charles M. Schulz, you know, the guy who created the Peanuts comic strip. He says, and I quote, "All you need is love, but a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt." And I would have to agree. Of course, a little chocolate doesn't hurt, but a lot of chocolate is even better. So on that note, let's start off with a song. Hi, Barbara. With the song from the musical by Lionel Bart, Oliver. And Oliver, as you may know, was first premiered at the Wimbledon Theatre in the West End in 1960, came to the United States in 63, and what's very interesting is that it actually became one of the most popular choices for school musicals, elementary school and middle school specifically. In fact, before I start playing, I have to tell you this story. So the song I'm going to play is Food Glorious Food, okay? Oliver was actually the first musical I ever did. I was in fifth grade, and this was with Crestmore Elementary School back in San Bruno. We were putting on a joint production of Oliver with the fifth graders at Bel Air Elementary School down by SFO Airport. Well, we were all so excited to be doing this show, and I was cast as one of the orphans. Me and about 40 of my classmates were the orphans. But I had this costume that was this old raggedy t-shirt that belonged to my dad, I think it was, and a pair of red striped pants with patches that my mom had sewn all over them. Well, we're singing the song Food Glorious Food, and as we're running through our blocking, we're supposed to be walking across the stage, going center stage to the table where they had the bowls of porridge set up. We had to turn our back to the audience, hold our hands out like this, and get a ladle of pretend porridge in our bowl. Well, when I turned my back to the audience, everybody just cracked up, and I didn't know what happened, but when I got my fake bowl of porridge and meandered my way back to upstage center, one of my friends leaned over and she says, Nikki, I'm like, what? Your pants are split. And it turns out what had happened was my pants had split right down the center seam. So everybody could see that underneath my red striped pants, I was wearing bright blue underwear. What a great debut, huh? That was just in the first act. In the same performance, in the second act, we're singing, papa, that's how it goes. We're all standing on risers upstage, and I got the biggest nosebleed I think I've ever had in my entire life. So in spite of those two disastrous events in my very first ever show, somehow I got bit by the theater bug, and here we are. So on that note, let's go ahead and do Food Glorious Food. Is it worth the waiting for? If we live till 84, all we ever get is gruel. Every day we say our prayer. Will they change the bill of fare? Still we get the same old gruel. There's not a crust, not a crumb we can find. Can we beg? Can we borrow or catch? But there's nothing to stop us from getting a thrill when we all close our eyes and imagine food. Food, glorious food, hot sausage and mustard. Well, we're in the mood, cold jelly and custard, peas, pudding and saveloys. What next is the question? Rich gentlemen having boys, indigestion. Food, glorious food, we're anxious to try it. 3 banquets a day, our favorite diet. Just picture a great big steak, fried, roasted, or stewed. Oh, food, magical food, wonderful food, glorious food. Oh my my gosh, what fun memories that song brings back. Next up, I see a comment about banana bread coming soon. Oh, this is awesome, because my next song actually has to do with bananas. So, way back when, my husband and I used to do volunteer work with KAZU 90.3 FM, the NPR radio station down in Pacific Grove. And one year during their pledge drive, anybody who came in and volunteered to work with the phone banks got a thank you gift. Our thank you gift this particular year was a CD by an artist who I can't remember, but the name of the CD was Kinky and Sweet. Now, all of the songs on this were things that Spike Jones might have done, but they were a little bit more cleaned up for family ears. And this song, I Like Bananas Because They Have No Bones, was on that disc. We fell in love with that song, and it has become a family favorite ever since. So here is I Like Bananas Because They Have No Bones, which was actually first released by the Hoosier Hotshots way back in 1935. Here we go. I stood by the fruit stand on the corner just to watch a customer complain. This is what he said, I heard every word, and I'll tell you so you'll understand. I don't like your peaches, they are full of stones, but I like bananas because they have no bones. So don't give me tomatoes, I can't stand ice cream cones, but I like bananas because they have no bones. No matter where I go, with Susie, me, or Anna, I want the world to know I must have my banana. Cabbages and onions hurt my singing toes, but I like bananas because they have no bones. Cabbages and onions, they hurt my singing tones, but I like bananas because they have no bones. Now I don't care for muffins and I don't like buttered scones, but I like bananas because they have no bones. Okay, so this next verse is not my opinion, but it actually is part of the lyrics. So that's my disclaimer. Here we go. I don't like politicians, they're human gramophones, but I like bananas because they have no bones. I don't like the bagpipes, can't stand saxophones, but I like bananas because they have no bones. Yes, I like bananas because they have no bones. Okay, thank you. All right, this next tune is a beautiful song that is a hit by Randy Sparks, which he wrote in 1964 for the group that he was a member of, the New Christy Minstrels. This is a song that has a very late 19th century, early 20th century folk song feel. And if you close your eyes, you could almost imagine that you're sitting out in a meadow somewhere in Great Britain singing this beautiful melody. This is Today While the Blossoms Still Cling to the Vine. Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows will all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that was mine today. Today, while the blossoms still cling to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows will all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that was mine today. Thank you very much. So, oh my gosh, Bobby, you have a friend who is in the new Christy Minstrels? That's awesome. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. So, our next song is yet another banana song. This one, the Banana Boat song, also known as Day-O, is actually, according to my notes, a traditional Jamaican folk song. It's known as a work song because its lyrics describe the tasks that are done on the job or even the job itself. You know, sea chanties are also a type of work song because the rhythm in the tune would help the sailors with these chores that they had to do when those chores required coordinating movements between a whole group of people. Things like hoisting a sail or pulling the anchor up from underwater, whatever. And it also made the time pass a little bit faster. So this song has been around for quite a while, but it became a hit when Harry Belafonte recorded it in 1956. And did you know, I didn't, but did you know that the line about a beautiful bunch of ripe banana hide the deadly black tarantula actually isn't talking about tarantulas, but it's talking about the Brazilian wandering spider, which is known as the banana spider. There you go. All right, the Banana Boat song. Day-O, day-O, daylight come and we want go home. Day is a day, is a day, is a day, is a day, is a day-O. Daylight come and we want go home. Work all night on a drink of rum. Daylight come and we want go home. Stack banana till the morning come. Daylight come and we want go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we want go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we want go home. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight come and we wanna go home. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Day is a day-o. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Day is a day, is a day, is a day, is a day, is a day-o. Daylight come and we wanna go home. A beautiful bunch of ripe banana. Daylight come and we want go home. Hide the deadly black tarantula. Daylight come and we want go home. Lift 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight come and we want go home. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight come and we want go home. Day is a day-o. Daylight come and we want go home. Day is a day, is a day, is a day, is a day, is a day-o. Daylight come and we want go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we want go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we want go home. Day-o, day-o, daylight come and we want go home. Day is a day, is a day, is a day, is a day, is a day-o. Daylight come and we want go home. You know, I didn't bother to check. Let me look. Let me look. Oh, good. No deadly black tarantulas in those bananas. I would hate to open up my piano key cover and go, oh my gosh, there's a tarantula. All right. This next song is, oh my gosh, it's hiding. Was written by Irving Berlin. See, there he is. Irving Berlin Anthology. Was written by Irving Berlin in 1935, and it was used in the 1936 movie Follow the Fleet. So I picked this one not only because it has to do with eggs, and now you see why I've got the egg carton on my piano, but because the lyrics are just the cutest thing I think I've ever heard. So in the movie, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers introduced that song. But this song was first introduced to me on an album by Michael Feinstein. This is I'm Putting All My Eggs in One Basket. Okay. What key did I say I was doing this in? All right. Yes. B flat. Here we go. I've been a Romeo Juliet. My Romeos have been manly, but now my roaming days have gone. Too many irons in the fire. It's worse than not having any. I've had my share from now on. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm betting everything I've got on you. I'm giving all my love to one baby. Lord help me if my baby don't come through. I've got a great big amount saved up in my love account. Honey, and I've decided love divided in two won't do so. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm betting everything I've got on you. I've got a big, great amount saved up in my love account, and I've decided that love divided in two won't do so. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm betting everything I've got, everything I've got. Yes, I'm betting everything I've got on you. There's just something about that song that I just think is the cutest thing. Thank you so much. All right. Next up, we go from eggs to cherries. So this next tune, Life is Just a Bowl of Cherries, was written by Ray Henderson and Les Brown way back in 1931. It was first used in George White's Scandals of 1931, and it was premiered there by none other than Ethel Merman. So the other thing I thought was really cool about this is that Mary Englebright, you may remember her, she did all those really cute drawings and prints that were very bold colors, usually with black borders and cherries around them. She had written a book in 1992 with a little twist on the title, and she called it Life is Just a Chair of Bolies. And the book was a collection of really cute and whimsical suggestions to remind us to always look on the bright side of life. Hey, that sounds like another song. But I'm not going to play that one here. Today's not about Monty Python. It's all about food and drink. All right. So here is Life is Just a Bowl of Cherries. Life is just a bowl of cherries. Don't take it serious. Life's too mysterious. You work, you save, and you worry so, but you can't take your dough when you go, go, go. So keep repeating it's the berries. The strongest oak must fall. The best things in life to you were just loaned. So how can you lose what you never owned? So life is just a bowl of cherries. So live and laugh at it all. just loan. So how can you lose what you never owned? So life is just a ball of cherry. So live and laugh at it all. Oh yeah. So live and laugh at it all. Oh yeah. So live and laugh at it all. Oh yeah. Okay. Next up. Oh, Kara, you did turn in at just the right moment for Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. And that's all I'm doing with that song. All right. Next up, you may remember the old folk song, On Top of Old Smoky. That's not what this next one is. So this one, On Top of Spaghetti. I was amazed at how many people requested this song when I was soliciting suggestions for this concert today. So On Top of Spaghetti was first known as On Top of a Pizza back in 1961, which was written by a radio DJ back east by the name of Dick Biondi. Well, in 1962, Sharon and the Lollipops, what a fun group. Sharon and the Lollipops recorded their own version of this with the lyrics credited to Sharon Ruth. I guess that would be the Sharon of Sharon and the Lollipops. And what made me laugh is that Billboard reviewed the Sharon Lollipops recording of this in its limited sales potential column. I guess that was Billboard's nice way of saying, this is never going to make it. But then, in 1963, Tom Glazier recorded it with the Do Re Mi Children's Chorus. And I bet you didn't know that this song is there's actually a version of this in Swedish. Are you ready for this? Ta hit spetekagen. And that's all I know of it. But this is On Top of Spaghetti. And if you know this, please feel free to sing along. On top of spaghetti, all covered with cheese, I lost my poor meatball when somebody sneezed. It rolled off the table and onto the floor, and then my poor meatball rolled out of the door. It rolled to the garden and under a bush, and then my poor meatball was nothing but mush. The mush was as tasty as could be, and early next summer it grew to a tree. How about that? Well, that tree was all covered with beautiful moss. It grew lovely meatballs and tomato sauce. So if you eat spaghetti all covered with cheese, hold on to your meatball and don't ever sneeze. Achoo! Oh my gosh. Okay. So as you probably figured out by now, this entire first set or portion of this set all has to do with healthy foods. So I'm not quite sure what a tree covered with tomatoes, how a tree covered in tomato sauce and meatballs is classified as healthy food, but hey, I'll take it. Anything with pasta and pasta sauce, I am there. Okay, so this next tune was recorded by the Kingston Trio in 1958 and Peter, Paul, and Mary in 1962. However, this song, Lemon Tree, was actually based on a Brazilian folk song. Oh, do I even try to pronounce this? Meu limão, meu limeiro. I can tell that the root word has something to do with a lemon. It's in Portuguese. Anyway, this Brazilian folk tune, whose name I can't pronounce, was arranged by a guy named José Carlos Burle and recorded by the Brazilian singer Wilson Simonal. Simonal, excuse me. This is Lemon Tree, and it was the version we know was written by Will Holt in the late 50s. Here we go. When I was just a lad of 10, my father said to me, come here and learn a lesson from the lovely lemon tree. My son, it's most important, my father said to me, to put your faith in what you feel and not what you can see. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Beneath the lemon tree one day, my love and I did lie. A girl so sweet that when she smiled, the sun rose in the sky. We passed the summer and lost in love beneath that lemon tree. The music of her laughter hid my father's words from me. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, but the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. One day she left without a word, she took away the sun, and in the dark she left behind, I knew what she had done. She left me for another, it's a common tale but true. A sadder man but wiser now, I sing these words to you. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet, but the fruit of the poor lemon is impossible to eat. Molly, thank you so much for suggesting that song to me. That is such a beautiful song. Thank you. Okay, this next one, I have not yet been able to get through with a straight face. Maybe now will be it. Hang on a second. I'm gonna take a sip here. But first, I wanted to mention that I have concert-related or thematic-related set pieces here today. I think you've all seen, I've got bananas here on my piano, and they're sitting in front of a carton of eggs. Don't worry, the carton's empty. And of course, the requisite junk food. We've got, let's see, we've got Skittles here, and we've got Starburst. I don't know if you can see those, Skittles and Starburst. And back here, I've got my crock that I took right off my kitchen counter, which has a lot of my cooking utensils in it, including my rolling pin. So, oh, and I'll have to show you what my apron says in a little bit. But this next song was requested by Daniel Hughes, the artistic director of the Coral Project. Daniel, I really hope you're out here today because I would have never thought of doing this song, but I'm having so much fun with it. I have to tell you, thank you so much. This is by Weird Al Yankovic, and I'm sure you can already guess what it is. It's Weird Al Yankovic. He wrote this song in the late 70s while he was a student at Cal Poly. While he was at Cal Poly, he also worked part-time at the campus's radio station as a DJ. Well, he wrote the words to this parody of My Sharona by the Knack and recorded it in the bathroom, which was across the hall from the radio station, because he said the acoustics were beautiful in the bathroom. So he recorded it, and then he sent that recording to Dr. Demento, who then aired it on his own radio show. Well, it did so well on the Dr. Demento show that it made it to the #1 spot on his Funny Five countdown. And I have to tell you, I really miss the Dr. Demento show. Oh my God, I loved that show. Anyway, this song actually never got an official video, but there is an unofficial video of Weird Al lip syncing to a recording of this. It was released as a single on Christmas Day in 1979, and this is a Weird Al Yankovic's take on the Nax My Sharona, My Bologna. Open up a package of my bologna. Ooh, I think the toast is done. The toast is done. Top it with a little of my bologna. Never gonna stop. Eat it up. Never gonna stop. Such a tasty snack. Eat it too much and throw it up. But my, woo! My bologna. My bologna. I'm gonna sing that verse again because I think I left out a couple, like half of it. Let me try it again. Oh, my little hungry one. Open up a package of my bologna. Ooh, I think the toast is done. The toast is done. Top it with a little of my bologna. Never gonna stop. Eat it up. Such a tasty snack. I always eat too much and throw up. But I'll soon be back for my, woo! My bologna. My bologna. Spread it on the mustard now. Show me how. Spread it on a little of this bologna. Hoping that we don't run out. Don't run out. If we do, I'm sure that I'll miss bologna. Never gonna stop. Eat it up. Such a tasty snack. I always eat too much and throw up, but I'll soon be back for my, woo! My bologna. My bologna. You know what's really funny? I can't stand bologna. Going through the market now. I'm the city's biggest bologna buyer. Walking down the shopping aisles. Filling up my basket with Oscar Mayer. Never gonna stop. Eat it up. Such a tasty snack. I always eat too much and throw up, but I'll soon be back for my, woo! My bologna. My bologna. My bologna. Woo! Bologna, huh? I would much rather have turkey and pepper jack, but that's just me. Okay. Excuse me. So, talking about the props here. Yes, I've got my crock. I actually have 2 of these because between my husband and me, we cook a lot in this house. So we've got cooking utensils up the wazoo. So I needed to get 2 crocks. Mine's the red one. Anyway, and this here was actually my mother's spatula. She's been gone now for quite a while, but I still feel connected to her whenever I use this spatula when I'm cooking food for my own family. And all kinds of other goodies there. Yes, I've got a rolling pin in there, but I have to show you my apron. This belonged to my dad, who is very proud of his heritage. Can you see what it says? I don't need a recipe. I'm Italian. And you know, he really never did use a recipe, and everything he cooked was fabulous. And I've tried for years, and I can't recreate whatever he tried to make. I don't know. This is something special. Anyway, so this next song was made famous by Louis Prima. Oh my gosh. I'll never be able to replicate his sound, but he is so much fun to listen to. This song, Angelina, was written in 1944 by Alan Roberts and Doris Fisher. And the really cool thing was that this song was actually named after Louis Prima's mother. Her name was Angelina. So he recorded it around that same time. I couldn't find an exact date, but I'm guessing it was 1944, 45, somewhere in there. The other cool thing about Louis Prima, you may have noticed in a lot of his repertoire, he tends to start singing in English, and then he'll switch over to Italian, and then he'll switch over to Sicilian, and then he'll start throwing in a bunch of the Sicilian dialect. If you listen to his lyrics, a lot of the Italian lyrics end with the oo vowel, like, excuse my French, facci tu, Lou, that's the Sicilian dialect coming through. He was actually one of the first entertainers to embrace his heritage in his material. And he ended up paving the way for a lot of other singers to do exactly that, and use a lot of their background in their material. People like, I think, Tony Bennett, Dean Martin, and others of that genre. Anyway, this is Angelina by Louis Prima. This song is just so much fun. I dare you to keep your toes from tapping. I anti-pasta twice just because she is so nice, Angelina. Angelina, the waitress at the pizzeria. I get soup and minestrone just to be alone with Angelina. Angelina, the waitress at the pizzeria. Ti voglio bene, Angelina, I adore you. E voglio bene, Angelina, I live for you. E passione, set my heart on fire. But Angelina never listens to my song. I eat antipasto twice just because she is so nice, Angelina. Angelina, the waitress at the pizzeria. If she'll be my cara mia, then I'll join in matrimony with the girl who serves spumoni, and Angelina will be mine. What the heck? Let's do this one again. This one's fun. I eat antipasto twice just because she is so nice, Angelina. I eat Angelina, the waitress at the pizzeria. I get soup and minestrone just to be with her alone, Angelina. Angelina, the waitress at the pizzeria. Ti voglio bene, Angelina, I adore you. E voglio bene, that means I love you a whole bunch, Angelina, I live for you. E passione, you have set my heart on fire. But Angelina, she never listens to my song. I eat antipasto twice just because she is so nice, Angelina. Angelina, the waitress at the pizzeria. If she'll be my cara mia, then I'll join in matrimony with the girl who serves spumoni, and Angelina will be mine. Fun song. Mille grazie per questa canzone, mia amica Molly. So yes, Diana, I see your granddaughter's name is Angelina. Actually, so is my cousin. I've got two cousins named Angelina. Really cool name, and I think it's just beautiful. You know that it means little angel, right? Okay. This next one was written in 1967 by Carl Gessner from the musical You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Now this one was also another favorite among schools to do for their drama productions because it was a very small cast, very small orchestration. This show itself is actually a string of favorite vignettes from the Peanuts comic strip. This song, Supper Time, is what Snoopy sings. He is beyond excited as he is waiting for Charlie Brown to bring him his supper. So Snoopy gets a little over dramatic in this, but it's all in good fun. Behold the brimming bowl of meat and meal, which is brought forth to ease our hunger. Behold the flowing flagon moist and sweet, which is brought forth to slake our thirst. It's supper time, yeah, it's supper time. Oh, it's supper time, very best time of the day. It's supper time, oh, it's supper time. And when supper time comes, can't supper be far away. Bring on the soup dish, bring on the cup, bring on the bacon and fill me up, 'cause it's supper time. Wintertime's nice with the ice and snow. Summertime's nice with a place to go. Bedtime, overtime, halftime too, but they just can't hold a candle to my supper time. Oh yeah! Woo-hoo! Bring on the hamburger, bring on the bun. Happy's little puppy loves everyone, 'cause it's supper time. Yeah! Oh my gosh. So, oh man, I think I need a break. A vocal break. Yowza. So I'm looking at some quotes I found about food, and these are from Goodreads.com. And some of these are really nice, and some of them are make you read these and they make you go, what? But I like this one by Orson Welles. Ask not what you can do for your country. Ask what's for lunch. I love it. Okay, this next song was written in 1940 by Ben Oakland and Milton Drake. There are 3 really well-known versions of this. This song, by the way, is Java Jive. The first was done by the Ink Spots in 1946. The second, by Manhattan Transfer in 1975. And the third by the Puppini Sisters in 2006. Now, if you don't know who the Puppini Sisters are, you need to look up Postmodern Jukebox. Postmodern Jukebox and the Puppini Sisters, too, take today's top 40 hits and redo them with a 1920s, 30s, and 40s sound. They are absolutely amazing. So if you get a chance, check them out on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, whatever your favorite platform is. And don't say I didn't tell you. You're going to love them. So this is Java Jive. Java Jive and it loves me. Coffee and tea and the Java and me. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup. Here's my tea. I had my coffee already this morning. Don't dare drink a second cup. I love Java, sweet and hot. Whoops, Mr. Moda, I'm a coffee pot. Shoot me the pot and I'll pour me a shot. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup. Or slip me a slug from that wonderful mug, and I'll cut a rug just snug in a jug. A sliced up onion and a raw one. Draw one. Waiter, waiter, percolator. I love coffee, I love tea. I love the Java Jive and it loves me. Coffee and tea and the Java and me. A cup, a cup, a cup, a cup. a cup pie. Boston beans, soybeans, little bitty green beans, cabbage and greens. I'm not keen about a bean unless it is a chili bean. I love Java, sweet and hot. Whoops, Mr. Good, I'm a coffee pot. Shoot me the pot and I'll pour me a shot. A cup of that sweet Java. Slip me a slug of that wonderful mug, and I'll cut a rug just to snug in a jug. Drop that nickel in the pot, Joe, taking it slow. Waiter, percolator. I love coffee, I love tea, I love the Java Jive and it loves me. Coffee and tea and the Java and me. A cup, yeah! I've forgotten how much fun that song is. Okay, so we've obviously switched from food to drink. So we're singing about Java, coffee, and tea. I've got my mug here full of tea, Sleepy Time Throat Coat, or Throat Tamer, I mean. Next up, we have a song that was done in 1977. I've heard it a gazillion, trillion, bazillion times. Yes, it's a big number. I just made it up. But I've never actually played it until this week. So for all of you who suggested that I do Margaritaville, this one's for you. So this was written by Jimmy Buffett in 1977, 44 years ago. Can you believe that? For his album, Changes in Latitude, Changes in Attitudes. So you're probably wondering what the song is about. Well, would you believe it's about the drink, the margarita. He had discovered margaritas in a now defunct Mexican restaurant in Austin, Texas. So this is Margaritaville. I don't have any margarita glasses, or else I would have used them as a prop. We should have gotten a salt shaker, huh? Nibbling on sponge cake, watching the sun bake. All of those tourists covered with oil, strumming my sixth string on my front porch swing. Smell the shrimp, they're beginning to boil. Wasted away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know it's nobody's fault. I don't know the reason, stayed here all season. Nothing to show but this brand new tattoo. I'm not going to show you where mine is, no way. But it's a real beauty, a Mexican cutie. How it got there, I have no clue. Wasted away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame. Now I think Margaritaville. Well, I've actually never been one for margaritas, to tell you the truth. That might be why I don't have any margarita glasses in my house. But I have taken a sip or two or 10 of a pina colada. Those aren't bad. If they go easy on the colada and heavy on the pina, which is Spanish for pineapple, actually, then I like it a lot better because I'm just not a big fan of coconut, but they are pretty good. So this next song you probably guessed is the Pina Colada song. This is another one that so many people have asked me for that I thought, you know what, I just have to do this. So this one was written by Rupert Holmes for his 1979 album, Partners in Crime. Well, here's the thing. I always thought that this song was biographical because he's talking about how he was, not feeling it in his marriage anymore, so he was going to go look for someone else to go play with. But it turns out I was wrong. So this is what Holmes himself has to say about how this song came about. Check this out. He said, the original lyrics said, if you like Humphrey Bogart and getting caught in the rain. If you like Humphrey Bogart getting caught in the rain. Well, as I was getting on mic, I thought to myself, I've done so many movie references to Bogart and widescreen cinema on my earlier albums, then maybe I shouldn't do one here. So I thought, what can I substitute? Well, let's see. This woman wants an escape, like she wants to go on vacation to the islands. And when you go on vacation to the islands, when you sit down on the beach and someone asks if you'd like a drink, you never order a Budweiser. You don't have a beer. You're on vacation. So if you want a drink, you want to drink on a hollowed out pineapple with the flags of all the nations and a parasol, a paper umbrella. If the drink is blue, well, you'd be very happy. Oh, and a long straw. Holmes continues, except my page got stuck here. Just a sec. Here we go. Holmes continues, yeah, and a long straw. So I thought, what are those escape drinks anyway? Let's see. There's a daiquiri. There's a Mai Tai, a pina colada. Ooh, I wonder what a pina colada tastes like. I've never even had one. So I thought that instead of singing, if you like Humphrey Bogart, I could start the phrase a syllable earlier and say, if you like pina coladas. And that's how the song was born. Get this. He never actually tasted a pina colada. And as recently as just 2 years ago, he still hadn't tasted one. So this is Escape, known as the Pina Colada song. And I'm laughing because on my music, it says, from Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I think I know full well that this was way before the soundtrack to Guardians of the Galaxy. But this is the Pina Colada song. Here we go. I was tired of my lady. We've been together too long. Like a worn out recording of a favorite song. So while she lay there sleeping, I read the paper in bed. And in the personal columns, there was a letter that said, if you like pina coladas, get caught in the rain. If you're not into yoga, if you have half a brain, if you like making love at midnight in the dunes on the Cape, then I'm the love that you looked for. Write to me and escape. I looked at my lady. I know that sounds kind of mean, but me and my old lady had fallen into the same old dull routine. So I wrote to the paper, took out a personal ad, and though I'm nobody's poet, I thought it wasn't half bad. Yes, I like pina coladas and get caught in the rain. I'm not much into health food. I am into champagne. I've got to be her smile in an instant. I knew the curve of her face. It was my own lovely lady. And she said, "Oh, it's you." And then we laughed for a moment. And I said, "You know, I never knew that you liked pina coladas and getting caught in the rain and the feel of the ocean and the taste of champagne. If you like making love at midnight in the dunes on the Cape, then you're the lady I've looked for. Come with me and escape." If you like pina coladas and get caught in the rain, if you're not into yoga, if you have half a brain, if you like making love at midnight in the dunes on the Cape, then you're the lady I've looked for. Come with me and escape. The Pina Colada song. Okay, so this next one is from my friend Dell, who had asked for this jazz standard, Scotch and Soda. Well, what I don't get is this song is supposed to be such a famous jazz standard. It is, you know, but none of my jazz fake books in my personal library have this song in it. How crazy is that? So, the story behind Scotch and Soda is this. Apparently, it was heard in 1932 when the baseball great Tom Seaver's parents were on their honeymoon in Phoenix. They were at a lounge at some restaurant in Phoenix, and they loved who was playing this song. They loved it so much that they actually asked the piano player to please write it down for them so that it could become their song. Anyway, several years and several kids later, their kids are now all teenagers. Tom had an older sister named Katie. Well, Katie's boyfriend at the time was Dave Guard. Now, those of you who know the Kingston Trio may recognize Dave Guard's name because he was one of the trio. Well, he was dating Katie Seaver, Tom's older sister, as I said, and he heard this song through their family and fell in love with it. So he got the Kingston Trio to record this in 1958. All these years, you know, they never were able to find the original songwriter. Seaver's parents, Seaver himself, Dave Guard himself, they tried. So it turned out that Dave Guard ended up copywriting it in his own name in 1959, which is why this song, which was written most likely before Guard was born, ended up with Dave Guard's name on it as the copyright holder. I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up if you tried. Anyway, so this is Scotch and Soda. Scotch and soda. Fun, fun song. Thank you, Del, for that request. Okay, so this next tune was written by a guy whose nickname was Haywire Mac. Haywire Mac, around 1895. So this is, oh my goodness, excuse me. This is Big Rock Candy Mountain, which was written by Harry McClintock, Haywire Mac. He claims he did it around 1895, but he didn't record it until 1928. It's a song about paradise as seen through a hobo's eyes. So if you're familiar with the medieval concept of cockaigne, I think that's how you pronounce it, cockaigne, Cockaigene, it's an idea of a land of plenty in medieval mythology, an imaginary place of extreme luxury and ease where physical comforts and pleasures are always immediately at hand, and where the harshness of medieval peasant life does not exist. So it's very interesting to hear the lyrics to Big Rock Candy Mountain and imagine that these people who were living such a hard and difficult life were fantasizing about what paradise would be like. Cigarettes in the trees, just reach up and grab one. You know, you don't have to work for it. It's right there for the taking. This is Big Rock Candy Mountain. Now, there are two versions of this. I'll sing as many verses as I can. You know what? This has tons of verses in it, so maybe I won't do them all. But there's also a version that's more kid-friendly, so I'm going to do a little bit of each. So, thought you would get a kick out of the performance notes in the sheet music for this. This is a very simple tune, but feel free to change the rhythms ad-lib to make the words sound as natural as possible. The notes should also change a little from verse to verse so that they aren't always the same. This set of lyrics, by the way, reflects Harry McClintock's cleaned up version. He never used the refrain, but many other folk artists have added a refrain after every verse and even changed some of the words, lines, and melody as they liked. Well, that might explain why I couldn't exactly remember how the tune went, because there are so many different versions of it. This is Big Rock Candy Mountain. One evening as the sun went down and the jungle fires were burning, down the track came a hobo hiking. He said, "Boys, I'm not turning. I'm headed for a land that's far away beside the crystal fountain. So come with me, we'll go and see the Big Rock Candy Mountain. In the Big Rock Candy Mountain, there's a land that's fair and bright, where the handouts grow on bushes and you sleep out every night, where the boxcars all are empty and the sun shines every day on the birds and the bees and the cigarette trees and the lemonade springs, where the bluebird sings on the Big Rock Candy Mountain. In the Big Rock Candy Mountain, the cops have wooden legs, the bulldogs all have rubber teeth, and the hens lay soft-boiled eggs. There the farmers' trees are full of fruit, and the barns are full of hay. And I'm bound to go where there ain't no snow, and the rain don't fall, and the wind don't blow on the Big Rock Candy Mountain. In the Big Rock Candy Mountain, all the jails are made of tin. You can walk right out again as soon as you are in. There ain't no short-handled shovels, no axes, spades, or picks. I'm bound to stay where you sleep all day, where they hung the jerk that invented work in the Big Rock Candy Mountain. Now, for the kid-friendly version of this. So this children's friendly version was written by Tom Chapin and Tom Foster. Here we go. I'll tell you about a land I know, but it's check this out. In the Big Rock Candy Mountain, you never change your socks. And the little streams of apple juice come bubbling down the rocks. There's no such thing as homework. It's your birthday all the time. You can stay up late and your folks don't care. You can come to lunch in your underwear. You can go to Zoom meetings in your pajama pants in the Big Rock Candy Mountain. In the Big Rock Candy Mountain. Funny how the songs from so long ago can sometimes be so relevant today. Wow. All right. So this next one, written in 1971 by Leslie Pursuit and Anthony Newley for the film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I'll give you one guess as to what this song is. And if you guess Candyman, you're right. So what cracked me up about this is that it was first done as the soundtrack for the movie, as you know. And then Sammy Davis recorded it as well in 1972. What was funny is that it turned out to be Sammy Davis Jr.'s only #1 hit. And he didn't even like that song. How about that? This is Candyman. Sprinkle it with dew, cover it with chocolate and a miracle or two. The Candyman, the Candyman can, the Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Who can take a rainbow and wrap it in a song, soak it in the sun and make a strawberry lemon pie? The Candyman, the Candyman can, the Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. The Candyman makes everything he bakes satisfying and delicious. Talk about your childhood wishes. You can even eat the dishes. Childhood wish, that's my wish, and that I don't have to wash dishes. You can take tomorrow, dip it in a dream, separate the sorrow and collect up all the cream. The Candyman, the Candyman can, the Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. The Candyman makes everything he bakes satisfying and delicious. Talk about your childhood wishes. You could even eat the dishes. You can take tomorrow and dip it in a dream, separate the sorrow and collect up all the cream. The Candyman, the Candyman can, the Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Okay. Speaking of songs about candy, these are tropical flavored Skittles. There's also sour Skittles and normal Skittles and fruity punch. I just call them scribbles. Skittles, all kinds of goodies. And we have Starburst. These Starbursts are Fave Reds, which I think is watermelon, strawberry, and cherry. When it comes to Starburst, I like the classic flavors. Just plain old orange, lemon, strawberry, nothing fancy, just the good old stuff. This next song is about another piece of candy, a lollipop to be specific. This one was requested by my friend Randy. And this tune, Lollipop, Lollipop, was written in 1958 by Beverly Ross and Julius Dixon. Here's something about this song I bet you never knew. Now bear in mind, this was in the late 1950s. And society and our culture and our way of thinking was a lot different back then. So if you put yourself in that mindset, this will make a lot more sense. So Beverly Ross had recorded it in 1958 with the duo Ronald and Ruby. Well, she was Ruby. But it became a hit when the Chordettes recorded it later that year. Well, how in the world did this song come about, and who exactly was Ronald? Check this out. The song originated, according to Wikipedia, originated when Julius Dixon was late for a songwriting session with Beverly Ross. Why was he late? Well, he explained that his daughter had gotten a lollipop stuck in her hair, and that caused him to be late. Well, Ross was so inspired by that word, lollipop, that she sat down at the piano and produced a version of the song right there on the spot. Beverly Ross recorded a demo with Ronald Gumm, his Gumm, whose nickname was Gumps, I think, who was a 13-year-old neighbor of Dixon. And that's who Ronald of the Ronald and Ruby duo was. But get this. Beverly Ross's mother insisted that she use a pseudonym for safety reasons. Why? Because she and this kid were an interracial duo. Can you believe that? Anyway, that is the origin of lollipop. Lollipop, lollipop. Please don't get a lollipop stuck in your hair while you listen to this. And by the way, in the original video of the Chordettes singing, there's a guy that pops up and does a lollipop by sticking his finger in his cheek and going, I can't do that sound, actually. So if you can, please do. Okay. And of course, it starts with some clapping, so let's get some clapping going. Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, lollipop, 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 oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Call my baby lollipop. Let me start that again, cause I messed up the counting. Call me baby lollipop, tell you why. Her kiss is sweeter than an apple pie. And when she does a shaky, shaky, rock and dance, man, I haven't got a chance. I call her lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Crazy she thrills, and me tell you why. Just like the lightning from the sky. She loves to kiss me till I can't see straight. And she, my lollipop, is great. I call her lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Sweeter than candy on a stick, huckleberry, cherry, or lime. If you had a toy, she'd be your pick, but lollipop is my lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Call my big lollipop and tell you why. Her kiss is sweeter than an apple pie. And when she does a shaky rock and dance, man, I haven't got a chance. I call her lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Oh my gosh. Okay. Lollipop, lollipop. This next song is about something that my family dearly loves to do. Baking. So I've been a baker most of my entire life, and my husband Donald discovered bread baking last year. It became one of his favorite things to do during this pandemic shutdown. Sourdough bread, cinnamon raisin bread, biscuits, regular French bread, hamburger buns, pretzels. Oh my gosh. Because of his wonderful talent with baking, my COVID weight gain, which should have been only 19 pounds, COVID-19 is more like COVID-39. Holy cow. But I got to tell you, and he is fond of saying, baking is love. And you know, it really is. If you want to show somebody how much you love them, give them something that you made with your own two hands, something that will nourish them, their body, their soul, their heart, their mind. Give them some baked goods, some bread. You know, it's funny, we actually do have a list of people that Donald has on his bread baking list. And when we bake the bread to bring to these people, it kind of makes it feel like we're doing something kind of illegal, because by the time the bread is baked and cooled off and ready to go, it's usually late in the evening. So here we are driving around town in the dark with the bread in a bag. We get to the destination, we put our masks on, open the window, the person comes out of the house and we give them the bag as in a handoff, and then we just drive away. It just seems really funny to me. Anyway, so this song is If I Knew You Were Coming, I'd Have Baked a Cake, written around 1949 or 50 by Al Hoffman, Bob Barrel, and Clem Watts. The best known recording of this was by Ellen Barton in 1950. Check it out on YouTube. It's darling. It is really cute. It's been covered by a lot of singers and ensembles ever since. It's even been on Sesame Street, MASH, and believe it or not, Wallace and Gromit. This is If I Knew You Were Coming, I'd Have Baked a Cake. Well, come in. Well. Look who's here. I haven't seen you in many a year. Oh my God, how timely is that? Many a month. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, baked a cake, baked a cake. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? How'd you drop me a letter, I'd have hired a band, grandest band in the land. How'd you drop me a letter, I'd have hired a band and spread the welcome out for you. Oh, I don't know where you came from, 'cause I don't know where you've been. But it really doesn't matter, grab a chair and fill your platter and dig right in. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, hired a band. Well, goodness sake, if I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, baked a cake, baked a cake. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? How'd you drop me a letter, I'd have hired a band, greatest band in the land. How'd you drop me a letter, I'd have hired a band and spread the welcome out for you. Oh, I don't know where you came from, 'cause I don't know where you've been. But it really doesn't matter, grab a chair and fill your platter and dig right in. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, hired a band, for goodness sake. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. How'd you do, how'd you do, how'd you do? Whack-a-doo, whack-a-doo, whack-a-doo. Whack-a-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And now, I want to bake a cake. Okay, this next song, I accompanied somebody on an audition once, and I had never heard this song before, and I thought it was one of the cutest things I had ever seen. This was one of the first collaborations between Fred Ebb and John Kander, way back in 1961. The song was used 30 years later in their musical review, And the World Goes Round. Well, I couldn't find any info on what actually inspired this song, but I agree with the singer. This song is called Sara Lee, and Sara Lee's cakes are pretty darn good. In fact, Sara Lee's pound cake is the basis for this very fancy frozen Italian dessert I make for most holidays for my family. It's called zucotto. It looks like a baked Alaska filled with 2 different flavors of whipped cream and chopped nuts and chocolate chips, and just totally indulgent and decadent and fabulous. So this is Sara Lee. Oh, there's a Post-it in there that didn't belong. There's a lady living somewhere. Where it is, I do not know, but I long to write and tell her that I love her so. I believe I might do mayhem, yes, I might destroy myself if I ever found her missing from my grocer's shelf. Sara Lee, Sara Lee, your brioche just fractures me. Give me a taste of your cherry Danish. I love my mother, but you can't compare, not with Sara Lee. Sara Lee, there's no H, just Sara Lee, but that's okay with me, 'cause I'm living in paradise when I nibble on apple spice from the kitchens of the one I love, wonderful Sara Lee, Sara Lee, Sara Lee. How I love that Sara Lee. I've never been a better banana cake, 'cause a Milton works at the Hilton. He caters banquets, and at each affair he'll swear by Sara Lee. I really know what you mean, Sara Lee. Aren't your brownies obscene? Drop that H, say Sara, Sara Lee, and it's okay with me. I love her cheesecake, it's sweet as a pearl. And did I mention I heard chocolate swirl from the kitchens of the one I love, wonderful Sara, beautiful Sara, S-A-R-A-L-A Lee, Sara Lee. Dang it, no, this is making me hungry. Sara Lee pound cake, etc., and so forth. Okay. I have 2 more songs for you. One of them is actually going to be just the refrain of this particular tune, because the music to this song is only available as part of the score to an elementary middle school musical called Santa Goes Green, which was written by John Jacobson. Now, this song is all about recycling and doing well by our planet. So this song is also about recycling. That's why it's called Recycle the Fruitcake. The chorus goes like this. Actually, the chorus goes like this. And I can read you the rest of the words because I wasn't able to get the chart, but here's the refrain. Recycle the fruitcake, recycle the fruitcake, send it to a cousin or uncle, and then wherever you take it, you won't have to fake it, because everybody knows a fruitcake comes around again. My grandma has a fruitcake, it's been in store for years. Every year at Christmas time it magically appears. She got it for free in '53 at Macy's or in Sears. When it goes back to the attic, no one sheds a tear. Recycle the fruitcake, recycle the fruitcake, send it to a cousin or uncle, and then wherever you take it, you won't have to fake it, because everybody knows a fruitcake comes around again. Hey! This one is available on YouTube, so if you want to hear the whole song, check it out. It's hysterical. I will have to make sure to buy the entire book, and that way I can perform it in its entirety for you. Okay, so our last song I gotta find it here. Okay. This last one got requested by a ton of people. And I'm thinking, how could I do a concert about food and drink and junk food and not do junk food junkie? So this one, Dr. Demento is getting a lot of airtime on this show. So this one was written in 1975 by Larry Groce, and it turned out to be his only hit. There's another artist who specializes in children's music by the name of Peter Alsop. Well, Peter Alsop had recorded Junk Food Junkie just for fun. Dr. Demento got a hold of Alsop's version and played it on his show. And after it became a success on the Dr. Demento radio show, Larry Groce finally decided to record it himself. And that is how he ended up with his first and only commercial success. Here is Junk Food Junkie. You know I love that organic cooking. I always ask for more. And they call me Mr. Natural, Mrs. Natural, down at the health food store. I only eat good sea salt, white sugar don't touch my lips. And my friends are always begging me to take them on microbiotic trips. Oh yes, they are. Oh, but at night I take out my strong bucks that I keep under lock and key. And I take it off to my closet where nobody else can see. I open that door so slowly, take a peek up north and south. And I pull out a Hostess Twinkie and I pop it in my mouth. Yeah, in the daytime I'm Mrs. Natural, just as healthy as I can be. But at night I'm a junk food junkie. Good Lord, have pity on me. Well, at lunchtime you can always find me at the Whole Earth Vitamin Bar, just sucking on my plain white yogurt from a hand-thrown pottery jar, and sipping a little hand-pressed cider with a carrot stick for dessert, and wiping my face in a natural way on the sleeve of my peasant shirt. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but when that clock strikes midnight and I'm all by myself, I work that combination on my secret hideaway shelf, and I pull out some Fritos corn chips, Dr. Pepper, and an old moon pie, and I sit back in glorious expectation of a genuine junk food high. Oh yeah, in the daytime I'm Mrs. Natural, as healthy as I can be, but at night I'm a junk food junkie. Good Lord, have pity on me. They think I'm pretty neat. Oh, I don't know nothing about arts and crafts, but I give them all something to eat. I'm a friend to old Ewell Gibbons, and I only eat homegrown spice. I got a John Keats autograph Grecian urn filled up with my brown rice. Yes, I do. Oh, you know what, folks? But lately I've been spotted with a Big Mac on my breath, stumbling into a Colonel Sanders with a face as white as death. I'm afraid that someday they'll find me just stretched out on my bed with a handful of Pringles potato chips and a ding-dong by my head. Ha ha! In the daytime I'm Mrs. Natural, just as healthy as I can be, but at night I'm a junk food junkie. Good Lord, have pity on me. Junk food junkie, huh? Well, out of all the stuff they mentioned in here, well, let's see. Sea salt? Yeah, we have sea salt in our house. We use that once in a while. Hostess Twinkies? Bleh. Let's see. Plain white yogurt? Don't really like that if it's plain. Hand-pressed cider? Okay, I'll take the carrot sticks. Those are good. And what do we got? Fritos? Yeah. Dr. Pepper? Oh, I have a lot of friends who love Dr. Pepper. I'm not one of them, though. Moon pies? Don't think I've ever had a moon pie. What else we got here? Brown rice? Yeah, I do eat my fair share of brown rice. Big Macs I don't like. Colonel Sanders? Oh, KFC? Oh my gosh. Only on very, very special occasions. Pringles? Sometimes. Ding Dong? No. But the rest of that stuff? Pretty good. Anyway, are you all full? Are your ears full? Is it time for some oral Alka-Seltzer? I don't know. I don't know. This concert has been really fun. Thank you so much for letting me bring a little bit of my kitchen bring a little bit of my kitchen into your living room or wherever you happen to be today. It has been a pleasure performing for you nearly an entire year. Can you believe that? 2 weeks from today is March 13th. March 13th is the 1 year anniversary of my last day in the classroom. And I know that my friends and colleagues who are teachers are probably feeling that same pull in their hearts as I am in mine. I miss my students and I cannot believe it has been almost a year. But I'm very grateful that I've had you to play for every other week ever since. It has been a real joy, and that I'm going to be doing a concert that day. I have no idea what I will be doing, but I hope that you will all be back to join me that day. Maybe we'll make it People's Choice, and the whole program will come from you. So let's see what we can do. All right. I thank you all very much. Hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and thank you once again for hanging out with me on this gorgeous Saturday afternoon. Take care, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.